Testing.
Is there a plug? Oh yeah.
On the head.
Yeah, there's a plug.
Testing. They do have a clap.
Dude, are you wearing clogs?
They're called Thugs, dog?
Thugs. Your dog's.
It's quick.
Is this even going to fit, Elliot?
Yeah, it should.
We'll get you a little slack.
What happened?
Well, you guys moved everything.
Yeah, I was trying to participate in
Get you a little
this.
slack here.
So the rule on the mic situation is about like a fist to the mic.
Fist away.
Yeah, you just got to fist it and you're good.
Hello.
Alrighty,
Do you have enough room or still no?
we're going. Elliot, this is
Are you?
started.
All right.
Oh, it's time.
Welcome to the Bad Lines podcast. Brought to you again from Wally's house.
Yes, the estate.
Estate.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear the best sound in the world? Crispy.
Good evening, everybody. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
We've got a very important guest.
Yes.
Where?
You.
Sandwich right between us two ferns. Wait, no, that's already a show. We're just going to keep that going.
So this is Mr. Wes, who is a Baja Designs guy, big industry guy, representative.
Yeah, little closer to the mic.
Hello.
There we go. Yeah, so Wes, how long have you been in the industry, as we'll call it?
I'm going on year 4 working for Baja Designs. Grew up, as a enthusiast and was always pretty involved in the space with just being a spectator and a consumer. So it is pretty funny to see both sides of it now.
Yeah. Did you have Baja Designs lights before you started?
Yes, we did. On the 5th gen, we had a Toyota Fog Pocket kit on the 4Runner.
Nice.
And stepdad was a racer. He desert raced for 20 years, and it was Baja Designs always. He's a Soltec collector.
Okay.
So 30 of the OG HID Soltecs. So
I remember before you guys came out with the LP6s and the LP9s, like everyone was still trying to collect like the Soltecs.
Yeah.
Like for the light bars.
Right.
And then you guys came out with, again, I guess, is it the LP series? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
What does it stand for?
La Paz. So yeah, Soltec was the biggest 8-inch light. La Paz was the 6, I believe. Right? Other way around? La Paz was the 8.
We also have a guest in the background here named Jason.
The sound guy.
Our in-house media coordinator.
But yeah, so it stands for LP stands for La Paz.
Yep.
And then it's just LP6, like that 6 inches.
It's 6 LEDs on the face. So 4 has 4. They have the side shooters.
I always thought it was inches.
Yeah, they're actually about an inch under all their designations, but they have the either 4.
That's how
6,
I
or
would
9
sell it personally.
forward-facing LEDs.
I would sell it a little bit.
It's like
above the inches.
That's what she said situation.
I mean, you can always use an extra inch. Necessary. Yeah, I always think it's funny when people are like, they have a perfect set of working Soltecs. Like, I'm going to upgrade to LP9s. I'm like, I don't know.
So do the Soltecs work as well?
They're really good for distance.
Okay.
They throw extremely far. I think overall, just with the high power draw of them, and it's just not quite as modern technology.
But they don't like the LP6 and LP9s. They have side.
Yeah, a lot more flood. All the new lights have a whole lot more flood.
Nice. And you got the really cool backlit. You can't forget backlit.
If you're trying to be a hot boy, it's
that's why Elliot's got a Toyota. He's a Toyota guy. So are you gonna put the Raptor lights on your Tundra?
No.
No.
Sure won't be doing that.
Okay. Well,
see, but if you end up with a 40-inch S8 in the upper grill,
it
has the backlight already. That's a difference. Form follows function.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah. And then I can pick you out of a lineup.
Sure.
With all the other Toyotas doing the same exact thing.
Stop. But so, dude, you've been like on the go. I mean, I've met you. I want to say King of the Hammers for sure. Maybe that was the first time I met you last year. King of the Hammers.
One Chocolate Thunder. Really a good place to meet someone.
Yeah. I think we were. You guys cruised out. You talk with Wally ahead of time, and you're like, we'll bring out we were trying to do something with like some whiteboards and like do some kind of like rating system on Chocolate Thunder. It
Right.
didn't end up panning out,
Mm.
but
next year.
you guys did bring us the S1 flashlight that we were going to use for these whiteboards, and then you brought out the laser light, which the laser light for me personally was just epic. Like when we had that thing up at Chocolate Thunder, we're cooking tacos. Like, we can put a photo of what we had going on. It was like just like the Luxor beam of light. Like, this is cool. Like,
it's one of the best applications for it.
Yeah,
I mean, it works well for going 100 miles an hour in a trophy truck, but
yes,
it also works well for marking your taco stand. So
that's the best part. Like we were literally just talking about, and we'll segue into like this year's KOH. Hopefully, we can help organize a run, and the best tool to tell everybody where you're at is this laser beam.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's back in the day when they had the movies. Like,
it's
you
like
had
a
a
bat
new movie
signal
coming out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But what were those lights called?
Those are spotlights, I think.
They were just called spotlights back then?
Movie lights?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You remember those?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's a party going on over there. Like, but we're doing that now with Baja Designs.
But pretty Hollywood feel, I would say.
Yeah.
But so like on the truck application, like what, like a trophy truck is running one of those like 10-inch laser bars?
Yeah, the laser is designed for just ultra high speed. It's the tightest spot beam you can get, the most distance you can get from any of our products.
Yeah.
It is actually almost a little too intense and too tight.
Mm-hmm.
We have our Racer series as well, which is our other distance-oriented series. It's a bit more usable, a bit more spread to it. The laser is just ultra tight beam, and it's super rad, but I think we're kind of overshadowing it with our Racer edition stuff.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever seen a trophy truck with a laser light like running.
Yeah, it was pretty popular for a couple of years, and now all of our guys at least have moved away.
Okay.
They're all running just Racer.
I think it's still pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, it marks a taco stand really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, when my 4Runner, the first gen solid axle swap with like 3 inches of up travel, when I'm, blasting across the desert.
Yeah.
The laser really helps me out when it's pointed directly up at the moon.
Exactly.
You can just see how poorly the suspension is working because the laser, it looks like the ocean is in, there's
it's funny with the limited travel stuff, it almost works better because it's not bouncing so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you have big travel and it's just super bouncing ball.
Yeah,
it can be pretty distracting.
But yeah, so I think you were just down in Baja, right? Didn't you guys just do an epic trip down there for the 1000?
We went all the way down to La Paz. We took dirt a good chunk of the way down. I'd say about not half the way, but probably 25% of the way down. We took dirt roads, and we had a big crew with us. We had Sherpa racks. They make roof racks for Toyotas, Jeeps, Fords, pretty much any of the newer vehicles. We had Caleb Norman with us, who's a extreme media powerhouse in the off-road space.
He's a big Baja guy too.
Oh yeah, Baja Designs through and through for that guy.
Well, no, Baja in general.
Oh
right?
yeah,
yeah. Caleb knows Baja like back of his hand.
Wealth of knowledge. It's a good crew to have for sure. And so we off-roaded and overlanded most of the way down. Pre-landed, we had some speeds going for a while, but we had minor issues. We lost the transmission on a 2022 Dodge Ram in the middle of nowhere.
Kind of a major issue.
Yeah, just minor when you look at the grand scheme of things. Everyone had all their limbs. Everyone was just having a good time still.
Is that common for you guys and your company to kind of organize trips like that?
Not in years past. There's definitely been a little bit of it, smaller scale. This one was kind of our first big test run of doing a well orchestrated, well planned media trip with a good crew of skilled photographers and videographers. And
you left Jason at home, right?
Yeah, exactly. But we had a good plan. We set out goals for each day to gather certain amounts of content, and it went pretty well according to plan, as well as you can in Baja. But
how many trucks did you guys have with you?
Just 4.
Okay, so that's a pretty tight group. Then that's not
a lot of people.
many.
We had about 3 per vehicle.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I mean that. I guess everyone outside looking in. I've been doing this for 10 years now, working in the industry, and it's everyone outside looking in. They always think it's always just kind of this grand scheme fun. Like obviously, you and I have hung out plenty of times at Overland Expos and events like that, or Offered Expos, and it's like you basically end up seeing your 10 by 10 booth for 90% of the time.
Right.
Like you get to walk around a little bit, but more or less you're kind of more chatting with industry people. Like you're not really kind of enjoying the show as the attendees are. But then every once in a while you get to go on a trip down to La Paz
Yeah.
and have an epic trip. Like they're far and few between. Like how many times does that happen for you guys?
Yeah, exactly. It was trip of a lifetime, and usually it's pretty much all work and a little bit of play after, but it's kind of same thing you would have on a normal day where you're gonna work all day and you come home and you get to have a
It,
little bit of
it
fun.
sounds really bad, you guys. I sell insurance for a living. I like look at my. I don't have a cubicle, but basically,
Right.
you guys are like, yeah, I had to go look at talk to these off road people
Why?
in
Why
my
are
10 by 10.
Why are you even talking to us right now? Why are you talking to us,
No, it's definitely
peasant?
we spend a lot of time in the office, and
No, for sure.
those office days kind of when it's 2, 3, 4 weeks that we haven't gone on any sort of show or
Sure.
event, I start to get cooped up in the office for sure, and it's a lot of emails and paperwork. But
So
those
so
Baja
like
trips,
a trip like KOH that you guys have like a huge a bunch of stuff to bring out, and like is there like a bunch of prep that you guys have to do
yeah,
to get it all?
just getting all the show materials ready, make sure everything's gonna be up to par for our standard of what we want people to see us as, because obviously we could come out and set up a tiny booth and
Sure.
it would be easy on us, but we want to
Yeah.
keep an industry standard that we're
Have a presence of sorts.
make
For sure.
a
Yeah.
clean presence.
Yeah.
But yeah, KOH is a weird one because it's just kind of work all day. I mean,
Sure.
by the time you're done working, it's dark and you want to eat some food and maybe go to Chocolate Thunder for
And then you
an
have
hour,
guys
but
like us who are like, "Hey, you know what you should do after work?
yeah, yeah,
Is
KOH you gotta
come
be
plan a
careful.
trip."
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I've done this long enough where there's a few trips or events that I actually look forward to yearly. And again, I'm never promised it the following year. So when they do come up, I'm like, oh, that was epic. Like I went to Colorado and Uray like 4 times. That was the most epic trip. But on my end, I felt like I always try to do the most that I could for the company so I could continue going back. So just like when you guys went to like, the Ball 1000 or whatever, you're like, this trip's epic. Like we have to work so
Right.
we can do this again. Like
Yeah.
the whole time, like, so even in the back of your head, you're focusing on getting, hey, like if I make the effort to do this very well, like I get to do this again.
Yeah.
So, and I think so there's definitely a lot of work aspects of the fun because obviously, especially when you're sharing it socially, all it looks like is fun.
Yeah.
But you do have to work.
Right.
And so I think there's always that misnomer in this space that off-roading companies or any industry that you're into, say you're a gun nut or you're a knife guy or camping guy, whatever the industry is, like when someone else is paying you to do it, you better be doing your job because you're not there just to have fun.
Yeah.
Now, you try and enjoy it the best you can, and that makes the job more fun and blah blah. And it goes back and forth with all that, but like I it always comes across with everyone else, like especially Elliot a couple of times. He's like, "Yeah, but at least you get to talk to people you like all day."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which is true to a sense. You get to interact with a lot of really rad people on a daily basis.
The technical questions at Overland Expo can start to wear on you.
You're like, bud, you're going like 7 miles an hour.
Yeah.
One set of lights.
And they're like an electrical engineer, and I'm just like a dirtbag off-roader, and I'm just like, all right, do not know the answer to that.
Yeah. And there's always a nuance in every industry like that. Again, like you're saying, like you're talking to people that clearly are more focused on tech versus utility, and you're like, how do I tell you that you're missing the point? like 6 LP9s on your roof rack of your Land Rover or I'm saying Land Rover because of Elliot, but like Land Cruiser. Usually it's Land Cruisers at those events,
right?
And they want a full roof rack of those things, and you're like, for what? It does 8 miles an hour.
I think that's a big misconception with our lights too. Is the price and how everyone says they can't afford them or they're too expensive, but it's more so they can't afford the look they want.
Hmm.
They want the
Ooh.
look of
Dude,
roof
that's
bar, bumper lights,
Yeah.
A-pillar lights, but it's, I mean, for most people's application, Squadron Pros, maybe XL Pro, XL80,
Dude,
one pair is,
that
well.
XL80s I had on the Ranger.
yeah.
More than enough.
I
Like
mean, yeah,
more than enough light.
yeah. If you think you're outrunning it, you're
Not even
definitely
close.
not.
I have the Squadron Pros on it. They were on my Tacoma on my fog lights,
Mhm.
and I have them on the Forerunner. Dude, those lights are probably the two are probably almost as bright as my 6 Hella 4000s
Yeah, it's
on the mouse, and
it's pretty
they're
insane.
they're little tiny lights, and it's
Yeah.
like, but like you said, that's very key. You have they're looking for the look. They want the 27 lights on the Forerunner
Yeah.
to look cool.
And you have to have the ones on the outside be ambers. There's no way.
Oh yeah,
There's
every
no
time.
way you could have any other aspect before. Like, was it like four?
Four
Like,
clears,
and
two
two-
ambers. Yeah,
Yeah.
a roof amber is pretty redundant to begin with, but it's all the look.
One is a catch 22 for anyone working in the space. You're like, yeah, I'll sell you that all day. Like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
want to make more money.
Sure.
Like, you need this.
Yeah,
Not,
I mean, most of
without
those people
saying you
are-
need it, but like, when they ask for it, you're not going to tell them like you don't need this.
Yeah.
You know, which is because they're not going to listen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they've already made up their mind if you're at the point where you're calling them. It's just whether they can afford it or not, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's pretty interesting with people wanting to look and to be a part of something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus actually like just doing it for what. And I always bring that back, like when I always say like trucks are tools, not trophies.
Mhm.
Like why do you need so much light if you're a rock crawler or
Yeah.
something along those lines? I understand having lights everywhere, but like, how do you need that many lights facing forward to do what you're trying to do? You know?
Yeah, it's definitely a fine line for us. Even advertising it, we have to, not just constantly push the vehicles that have every single option because it just almost draws people away at a certain point,
Hmm.
and we want to make sure that they're, it's still relatable.
Yeah. So with that, when you start setting up like a race truck, like how does that work for that guy? Like let's say it's who's your top racer? Is it Bryce Menzies?
Yeah, I mean, he won the 1000.
So I know you guys actually work with him to set up lighting properly for him. How do you guys organize lights on a truck like that? Obviously, we could all just look at a picture and see what they are, but how do you guys as a company like help organize that?
Well, our lighting zones, we have our lighting zones chart, and that would be kind of the best explanation. But it's just going with that and making sure we're hitting every zone. Make sure they have the option at least to hit every zone that they need to, so that during the race they're not always going to need distance. Zone 5 racer way out far. Most of the Baja 1000 is technical slow stuff, and I think even the TTs are a 50-mile-per-hour average. So making sure they have good cornering light, making sure they have good amber, good floodlight, and they're going to be successful through the entire race and not just across the wide open sections.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people think it's all about distance and high speed, but blend is our biggest thing. We always make sure we have a smooth blend of light across the field of light. So you don't want hot spots, you don't want shadows, just a smooth, even blend, and just kind of start on the bumper, start blending it out until you're way out.
So a hot spot, would that be something like your eye gets drawn to? What would be the
A hot
negative?
spot would be, yeah,
Like what would be the
distracting.
negative? Like I understand what a hot spot it would be the
Right.
brightest point. But like
Yes.
what would be, it would be distracting.
Yeah, extremely distracting. It'll cause a lot of eye fatigue and driver fatigue,
Okay.
just because you're seeing that, and even if you're not consciously, it's subconsciously your eyes are focusing on that, and it's wearing on them. You can get the bouncing ball effect really bad, which is what we were saying with the laser. So when you have a really bad hotspot and a lot of travel, and that hotspot is just bouncing up and down, that can cause a lot of fatigue. So making sure the lights are blended is just as similar to daylight, so that you're seeing one
Similar
big
to
area.
daylight. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I've always, and Elliot and we've had this conversation 100 times. It's like, I only have the lights on my truck so that if we are driving at night, it's like a security system for me. It's like an insurance program.
Totally.
I have no interest realistically going hard at night.
Yeah.
I don't want to fix. I don't want to be working on my truck when it's pitch black out.
Yeah, being on the
Like-
trail at 2 a.m.
No, but
broken
it's
is hard.
I disagree. It's so much fun at night. It feels
I
like you're in a
love
video
driving
game.
it. And no, I do agree with it, but I don't want to work on the truck at that point.
Well, of course not, but don't break it.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line. I personally am a big
I'm
night
not.
run
I'm not a
connoisseur.
Toyota guy. Things happen, okay, Elliot.
Yeah.
Ford's break.
Wes and I though, we got a thing.
Yeah,
We're
let's
just
talk back
going
down.
on.
Like, what kind of truck do you drive, bud?
Well, I daily a Toyota 4Runner, but I have a first gen Tundra that's cage, total chaos, Devers, just the typical, 2004 trophy truck,
Yeah.
and it does everything you can need. It's 4-wheel drive, so it's definitely Swiss Army knife, and it's a
Hi, Bisky.
special guest, Biscuit Stilgebauer.
Biscuit. You can hang out right here. Keep
Yeah,
talking about your
it's-
truck, bud.
Look at
I
that. What a guy.
Bought it from the original owner, stock as could be, Dustin Woods. He's actually, probably your cousin or something. I think it's your last name, right? Woods?
Kayla.
No,
Kayla.
it's yeah,
Oh, okay. What's your last name?
Strickler.
What's the DW photo?
It's my stage name.
Oh,
Stands for-
DW.
Is do work.
Stands for do work, son.
Work, son.
Yeah, that was an alias from years ago.
Oh, okay.
It's a stage name.
Yeah, so
And we
bought it-
did work today.
We did
Yeah.
some work. We were canning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're at King of the Hammers and you're
King of the
drinking a
Canners,
can,
man.
King of the Canners, and you're drinking a can, and it ends up on the floor, you're a piece of shit because there's an option. So there's that.
He said it.
He said it.
He
not us.
said it.
So
I loved it.
back to the old race Tundra.
Yeah.
Bought her brand new or second owner. I was the second owner from the original owner, and it was a stock mobber for years, just kind of mountain truck, and ended up putting it on its lid while it was still stock.
Oh,
did?
oh,
Yeah.
whoa!
Oh, we get a little spicy,
Oh,
huh?
yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I think Wes got in there.
Yeah, so when you're like out and you're having a good time, and then you take a bad line,
Mm,
that's
mhm.
what happens.
So I'm
yeah.
listening.
Did that
We were
hit
out-
home?
Yeah,
Did you just-
it was bad lines, good times. We were out
That was
on
beautiful.
a soggy dry lake bed. I'd say probably the best.
Were you
dry
doing
lake bed.
donuts?
Not donuts, but the tires were kicking up some
Okay.
roost. We were coming in like trail rut, like middle of the getting it session, and came out on the lake bed just a little too hot, and ended up hooking up and
Mm,
just
mhm.
pretty mellow, like cartwheel or bicycle, 2 wheels, almost got it, and then just doot doot.
Oh,
But
bud.
that started the build. We cut the roof. KL Fab and Escondido helped me. He cut the roof. We got a parts truck, caged it, back half, all the good things. And it's been pretty bulletproof since then. I mean, just breaking metal, but nothing that can't be fixed. So
And you've done a bunch of work recently.
yeah, definitely this last off season, I guess you could say, put in fuel cell finally, finished out the back half, just recycled the rear, got more up travel, and just trying to make her dance with the leaf springs.
There you go.
And-
Hey,
and
they
who-
can work.
Who did the work on it?
The cage and back half was KL Fab, and then we did all the suspension stuff. Just
Okay.
in the garage, it's all bolt on. So.
I was gonna say you
But
did
ju-
quite a
Just the recent work though. Is that was?
Oh
him?
yeah, that was High Desert Motorsports. He rebuilt the shocks and then did a fuel cell cradle, and
He's on our forum actually.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 86 Yoda runner. High Desert Motorsports is the business page,
Mhm.
and does incredible work. I mean, the guy can throw down some big super welds. He's a really, really good fabricator. I haven't actually tried out the shock tune yet, but I know that's why I went to him, because he's a good shock tuner as
Sure.
well, and he has good track record. So
Is
I think
that
it's gonna boogie.
truck gonna be at Hammers?
Yes,
Yeah.
on the night run
On night run
in the sky.
in the
Boom.
sky.
Just
So what we'd like to do is did I say that hours and stuff we'd like to try and organize this night run yet? Or
somewhere between 6 and 9.
Yeah. So we'd like to try and of course. I'd like 4 and 20.
guy.
Oh,
But no,
4
honestly,
and 2 a.m.
I think if we met around 4 o'clock while it's daylight still, so you can actually
In the
see
4 p.m., not
the-
4 a.m.
yeah,
I know
4
that's-
p.m.
We're party guys, but
we could try and meet everybody up around 4 p.m. Before it gets dark, and then we can do a quick run out to the dunes, do some jumping, maybe cook some tacos, hang out, and then do a run. I think it'd be fun to do it around the back way of Backdoor, to Chocolate Thunder, and that way you're kind of missing a lot of the crowds. We're using the lights, we're having fun, we're all together. That's the biggest thing, is actually getting people together. Because if you've ever been to King of the Hammers when it's dark, every truck looks the same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a truck with a crazy bright lights. You have no idea who that is.
Just off-roading in general. You could have taken the same trail 10
Mhm.
times in a day, and you take it at night, and you miss that one turn, and it's just like
Sure.
it's a whole other beast.
So if you guys want to come hang out with us, you know, on the forum and stuff, we'd love to have as many people as possible joining us. Obviously, we don't want to overdo it, but I think it'd be super fun to help organize a trip with Baugh Designs. One, Elliot and I both use the products. We love the products. We've been using them for years, and it's a good time to like just like this conversation right now. I own LP6s. I had no idea what LP stood for. Like, not that that matters, but like part of the conversation about the light focusing, you know, and like how your eyes work and how you react to it. Meeting up with, we'll call it industry professionals here, big wheel guy, circles, this light guy, flashlights, you know, you remember those things? This is what we do. Okay.
It's our
But
thing.
it's pretty cool getting to meet, especially at events like this, like King of the Hammers, that where enthusiasts that work for the companies are out there participating, and then interacting with them. I think is really important, for you to understand, one, the products better, and better how to utilize them better.
Yeah.
Overall, like what is the best application for you and what you're trying to do with your vehicle. And I've always pushed that narrative over and over again. Like, don't build the truck because of the look, you know, the light bar with way too much lights for a stock Forerunner.
Yep.
Build it for what you need and spend the money where it's applicable for what you're trying to do with the the vehicle. So
Yeah. And build it to get out there. I mean, it's the whole point of them. Like you said, it's a tool. So as much as we want you to spend $3,000 in lights, that pair of Squadron Pros for $449 is plenty, and you
Yeah.
can go spend $2,500 on gas and food and
Can
rip.
confirm. Yep.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
Go on a trip before you have everything.
Yeah.
And you'll see what you need real quick. It's
yeah,
not much.
exactly. And like, how often do you? I mean, again, it comes back to, do you like driving at night? Like LA said, like I really do enjoy driving at night. It's like almost therapeutic because it's tunnel vision. But like, I also don't necessarily want to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't want to break.
It's, all-American sender,
Uh-huh.
big dog. I mean, guy is just super ripper.
Does he
Got
have
one
any
light
lights?
bar because he does not want to drive his truck at night because he's had a couple bad incidents and he just wants to get back to camp, park it. I mean, it's a big investment, and
Sure.
Of course.
so it's someone like that is a good example. He has the lights he needs, and if he has to use them, he can. But
There you go.
and the truck's clean because of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very
For sure.
sleek.
For sure.
Good. Well, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for coming over and helping out with the King of the Canners. We've got 20 plus barrels that we've made. They're out there in front of my driveway, basically done. Ellie and I are going to finish those up tomorrow and be delivering them out to the Hammers. If you guys see them, Baugh Designs will have one at their booth.
That we will.
And yeah, we're just stoked for.
Heck yeah. Thank you, boys, for having us on. And everything you guys are doing for the industry is pretty insane. I think the more traction it gets, the more people will realize how important stuff like this is. I grew up on Desert Rangers learning. It's very, very important to have these archives where you can find this information because there's not a lot of places to go and find out how to build a pre-runner or what you need to do. And that'll be my action item.
And a way to interact with industry professionals.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I will give myself an action item. Before this video comes out, I will have a build for my truck on the forum.
Go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Goodbye, guys.
Go.
All right, guys.
Sorry, we're running down on time. I got 51 seconds on the clock.
Let's go.